Hey everyone, so The Last of Us Season 2 premiere happened on Sunday. I got some thoughts about it and I really want to talk about it. So I really enjoyed seeing parts of the story that were changed that we didn't see in The Last of Us Part 2 game at all. I really enjoyed seeing those scenes with Joel and Dina, where Dina shows up to Joel's house and he's trying to teach her about circuit breakers. I just think that is so cool because, as I can recall, there were never any scenes, any dialogue at all between Joel and Dina. And I think the other thing that was added that I thought was a pretty nice touch was we got to see Joel with a therapist, speaking to someone where she's not officially a therapist, but she's just doing it for the community for Jackson. And I just thought it was so brilliantly well done, the way where they would just start drinking whiskey, and it's like, and Joel just says, are you supposed to, he tells Gail, are you supposed to be drinking whiskey? And then she just says nope, and then he just starts drinking it anyway. And I love that little moment where she says the one thing that she's been holding back, where she resents and hates Joel for killing Eugene. And I remember Eugene as a character in the second game, where he was someone where you learned about Eugene's story in reading notes, where you found his den, you found like his little stash garden with the plant that I can't mention on YouTube or else I'll be demonetized. But I absolutely loved how they just changed things around, where in the game Eugene died because he was he died from old age. He died from a stroke at the age of 70. Whereas in this, Joel killed him. And that took me aback. I was not expecting that at all. And the other thing I want to talk about is I love how you actually got to see Kat as part of the group of Jackson, because in the game, Kat was the girl who gave Ellie the tattoo, but they only mentioned it once Dina and Ellie started riding off in Seattle. So I was not expecting that at all. And the other thing I really enjoyed in that moment was being able to watch, getting to see Ellie and Dina, what their friendship was like really before they became a couple, because you never really got to see that in the game. Like, once you see the game, once you meet Dina, it's like this is already past the point where Ellie and Dina already, kissed each other at the dance, and you never got to see that. So I just think it's so neat and so interesting. And the thing I also really enjoy, it just feels like Ellie and Dina already have great chemistry. Whereas when you played the game, at first, once they're riding into Seattle on the horse in that whole section of the game, I never really bought into their relationship. I never really bought them as a couple, whereas right here from the beginning, as soon as you see Ellie and Dina, like especially that scene where Dina is in Ellie's garage that she's living in, and you see that moment and you can kind of feel the tension building a little bit when she's helping put the strap for the rifle on, and you can see like they're getting close together, and you can just kind of see it in Ellie's face, like you can tell, oh, she likes her, but doesn't really know exactly when or how to say it. I just thought that was really cool. And I also liked seeing more scenes with Jesse, because I don't know for sure if we're going to get that moment when Jesse said, hey, why did you kiss my girl only after we'd just been broken up? Whereas at this point, it feels like Jesse and Dina are still together, and I don't know. But the other things I really enjoyed about this episode were those moments when you got to see almost like the town hall meetings. Like, I love this stuff. I love how you never got to see it, but you got to see Tommy and Maria were there. But then you also got to see Joel, like, in charge of construction, and I loved how he was telling Maria, we don't have enough room here. I love that we got to see a part of Joel's life, Tommy and Maria's life. I love how we got to just see them be a neighbor, be a part of the community. We never got to see that. And I also like the part when the way that we're introduced to Abby and her crew is very different. How they're already at the St. Mary's Hospital in Salt Lake City, and they just had the funeral for Abby's dad. And I like how it's like they put in that little nod to the people that have played the game, where it's like, you know what's about to happen, but I love how they're already establishing that they are here, that they are making the journey for, making the journey for Joel. And I loved how this first episode, it got stretched out. I love that we're taking it slow, that we're just enjoying what it's like being in the community in Jackson. I'm really enjoying it, but I already know, or I got a deep sinking feeling episode 2 is when all the shit that was so fucking controversial from the game is actually gonna go down. But man, like, I just gotta say, wow, what a season premiere. I'm hyped, I'm ready, and I love, because they did this too in season 1, but I love how they're continuing it in season 2. I love how they're taking elements from the game and then shuffling things around and showing you things in a different order. Like, I just love that, like you said before, with the whole scene with like Dina at Joel's house, or even seeing where you get to see Dina at Ellie's garage instead of it being Jesse from the beginning of the second game. Just like these, and especially with Joel and Gail, doing therapy. It's like, oh, it's just so brilliant. Because it feels like I'm experiencing the story for the first time again, even though I know the main story beats because I love the games, and yet I still can't properly expect or predict what's going to happen, and I'm just loving it, man. I'm loving it. So those are my thoughts on the season 2 episode 1 premiere of The Last of Us on HBO, and I'll keep making more videos talking about each episode.